Hi there, I'm Noreen from Katy Designs, and I'm going to show you how simple it is just to make up one of the fabulous fellows shops. I printed out the shop front of my choice. The 7 garages and 12 shop fronts, so it's entirely up to you which one you choose. This one is the garden section, so I've done the shop front. I've also done that fabulous interior with the decoupage, and each one of the garages and the shops has its own bespoke little sentiment plate that goes on the back, so we've still got that continuity. And I've also printed out the sentiments that we can place on the top of our shop. So this was shop 8, and you can also print out the fabulous fellas shops and garages templates instructions. So we've done all of that, and quickly before we get onto the making up of the garage, I just want to show you how simple it is to make your little pots and urns. I'm using corn flour, and these are a food safe silicone mould that I'm dusting out with the corn flour. Tap out any excess, and that's just to eliminate any kind of moisture that might be in there. So in this instance I'm using air drying clay. Obviously if you're using it with your cakes, you could use it with your sugar paste, things like that, but keep them separate and don't cross match. So if you're using them for both, you need to have two separate moulds. So I'm just making sure that with the clay, the air drying clay, I've pulled all of that back to within that section there, so you can see that there's no raggy edges there. And then literally we're just going to release this from the mould, and that's how simple it is to achieve that fabulous looking pot. I've done exactly the same with the more like Grecian urn, and then once we assemble it, I've left that to dry on some kitchen towel. So if I was doing it, I would be placing it on a kitchen towel. Why? Because that's going to absorb any moisture. Leave it for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes on that. That is going to dry, and then you can paint it, you can use your distress inks. There's lots and lots of things that you can do with that. So that's the urns done. Okay then, now to get onto making it up. So what I've done is I've cut out all the relevant sections. So I've done all my decoupage to go on to the shop interior. So we've got this beautiful image here, and then I'm just going to lay all the decoupage pieces down. You can use, as I've done here, your foam pads, or if you prefer you can use your silicone. Either of those is a good option. What we're given that is just some depth and dimension. And when I've cut it out, if there's any little areas that you still see that you've got your lovely Harvest Cream card that we've printed it out on, you can go around the edges with maybe your black pro markers or your spectrums, and that just tones everything back down again. So I've got that placed down on there, and I've got the little garden fork there. So what I'm going to do before I assemble anything else is to actually put some flower soft on there. So I've just arranged a selection. I've got the marigold, I've got the meadow, I've got the beautiful peony pink, and I've got the spring there. So it's just whichever I kind of prefer to use. So I'm going to have the meadow, so I'm going to apply my glue liberally around there, and I'm going to put a few little bits of glue up there so you can see the amount of glue that I've actually put on. And then put your flower soft in a bigger pot so that you can sprinkle it, and I've just pressed that down ever so slightly just to make sure it comes into contact with the glue, but see immediately the dimension that you're able to achieve. So you can have some great fun with this product. So I'm literally again just flooding the area, the top of that pot. Press that down. And just little additions like that just adds a little bit more fun to your card. So it doesn't really matter, even if you go over the edge of the pot, it doesn't matter. So just gently tap that into position, shake that off, and then the last little section here, I'm going to use the marigold. So again, that would probably take 20-30 minutes to dry. I'm just going to move all of this flour soft out of the way. Just to catch your little sprinkles, you could have had a little piece of paper or card underneath. But can you see the dimension now that we've created? If you can see any of the white glue through there, that'll dry, so not to worry about that. Okay then, so I'm going to place that to one side. So the shop front, it would tell you there's lines there to score, so I've scored, and always cut those out before, always score those before you actually cut them. So I would have used my ruler to just go down here and score those both sides before I'd actually cut that out, and then of course you cut the centre out. If you want to at this stage, what we can do is we can put some acetate on the front, so we're actually glazing the window. So we'll just turn that over, and I've got the double-sided tape on the back here. So just take your double-sided tape off. And then one of the things to check is that you're not going to encroach on that folded area. So I'm going to fold this so I can see exactly, so you see that folded area there? You can see exactly where the fold is. I'll explain why. Because if I was putting the acetate on there, and bearing in mind that this card is going to be able to fold flat, just be careful that you don't encroach over onto that fold. So as long as that doesn't go anywhere near there, it's quite easy just to lay that acetate down, and then you've got ready glazed windows. Make sure it's nice and clean before you do that. So the back of it, what you would get is, again, would recommend that you use this beautiful Harvest Cream card. So again, with the shops and the garages, you would just place the front of your shop down onto your cream card, and what I would do there is I would just use my pencil to mark where those sections need to be folded and scored, and then I would move that up, and then I would mark those sections there, and then I would actually draw around it. So that's what I've done there. So that's the two sections, and then you would score again down those lines and then cut those out. So this is the one that I've got already prepared. So you can see in this, for the back, you draw the inside one section up to you and fold that one away. So we've got that kind of folded section there. I'm going to do exactly the same on the back. So there we have the back of the shop. So now what we need to be doing is adding the interior. So you can use your double-sided tape or you can use your glue. I find the Flour Soft glue to be one of the best options because it means that you do have that minute or so to be able to move that around so that you can slide that into position. So once we've got that settled there, you can see how you can just slide that into position there. And once you're happy with that, just press that down a second or two. And you can see that, hey presto, we've got that beautiful, beautiful image on the front. So then it's just a question of actually assembling it. So where we've got that flap folded here, that is then going to attach the front of the shop there. So we're going to have that, and you can see then how that section would just fold down flat for posting. So it's the outer edge, and again you can use double-sided tape or your glue, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to place that onto that section and just press that down firmly, and it literally just takes that length of time for that to be secure. When you're doing the other side, what I would do is fold that inside so that you've got this section where you can put your glue on without getting any glue on the outside of your shop. So a liberal amount of glue, and then you can pick that section up and place the two ends together, and again just a couple of seconds of pressure is going to be all it takes for your lovely shop to be assembled like that. So then another couple of things that we can do that's going to just add a little bit more fun to the shop. Obviously we've got the signage to go on, so whatever your choice of signage, and I've got some foam pads on the back there, and I'm just going to place that down onto there like that. So we've also got the back sentiment as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use one of the lovely stamps and placing that onto an acrylic block. You can see that it is a clear stamp, which again is absolutely invaluable if you're wanting to position your stamp. Just make sure that if you've caught any ink on the outside edge, you're going to take that off. So because it's clear, I'm going to be able to put this exactly where I want it. So we're going to have this kind of centralized, and just press that down. So obviously this would need to be done before you assemble it, because you need it to be nice and flat. So you're a fabulous fella, which is absolutely marvellous for lots and lots of different occasions and different ages. Some of the images that we've got in the shops, they're going to cover all the different hobbies, maybe interests, and it can range from the sports shop, which I would be able to send to someone, you know, very young, right through to the kind of gardening section that we've got here. Just press that down onto the back there. Just add a little bit of pressure onto that. So back to the pots and urns. So what I thought we would do is, I thought we're just going to use a couple of those dried pots and urns that we can place there. So colouring them, you can use lots of different things to colour them. This is actually distress ink. This is walnut stain that I'm going to use here. And this can be done very, very quickly. So just with your cut and dry foam, you can see that that's just going to highlight the beautiful detail that we've got on these fabulous embellishments. So what I would do is I would do darker on the outside, and that's going to give you that shaded effect. So again, you can see the beautiful detail on that. So just simply add your glue to the back, put that into position. I'm going to do exactly the same with the little plain pot that we've got here. Again, a fabulous addition, and quite an inexpensive one when you think of the price of some of the embellishments. So I'm just going to again have that darker on the outside, just tone it in a little bit. Don't forget to do the bottom. So I've got that done. Put the glue on. Oops. Put the glue on there. And again, place that into position. So before I go any further with the putting the flower soft on, what you can do is, if you haven't felt like if you feel that you've got a little bit of your cream card showing through areas that you might have cut, and you can still see little bits of the cream, then just go around the outside edges with some of your distress ink, and again that's just going to tone everything back into line. So then we're just going to use, I'm going to use some of the fabulous Meadow Mix to go on there. So what we can do here is we can literally just flood that area, and we can have some of it cascading over the top. So It really doesn't matter positioning your glue. You don't have to be too precise, and we're just going to have a lovely, lovely set of pots and ends out here. So again, there's a little bit of card underneath, so just place that down onto your glue, and if you want to, just gentle pressure, tap that off, place all that lovely flour soft back into a dish, and there we have Potter's Garden Shop. Absolutely stunning, stunning images. I know that you're going to enjoy every minute of your fabulous fellas, and I hope to show you another demonstration very soon.